ladies, we have been on here for like an hour talking. Now, I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. I got two more things I want to end with. But I saw this come up on the blogs. Anybody knows me knows I like YouTube. So I'm a YouTuber. I like, listening to the YouTube. I'll be in the YouTube streets. So but I was like, this would be a good question to ask with a group of women, black women. And it's not so much about black love, but yeah, a little bit about black love. So we all know Kiera Sheard, right? All right, y'all. Okay, so do what I'm about to ask, Jessica?
I don't, because
Okay.
I don't know I don't be in the streets, so y'all got to fill me in.
You don't be in the YouTube streets?
No.
No, but Kiera Sheard is Karen, right? She's Karen's daughter.
Right.
I love Kiera. I love Kiki. So I guess she did an interview and she talked about her relationship with her new husband, right? Because they just got married. And she said, don't quote, this is not a direct quote, but she said that if her girlfriends can't spend the night with her because she's married, okay? And she was saying it in the how it kind of came across was that as if she didn't want her husband to lust after any other woman. Now I took it a different way. I took it as creating boundaries. Okay. Not saying I don't trust my husband. What I'm saying we need to create boundaries. But the question is, how do y'all feel about that? When it's regarding, a friend who you have black love. This can be connected to black love. A friend who you love, right, and care about, wants to spend the night. She comes into town. Do you let that friend spend the night with you and your husband? Like I said, she was talking on the grounds of, she don't want her husband lusting, creating these boundaries with, women staying over at her house, basically, staying over her house with her husband. What do you guys think about that? What is
Oh, you might want my comments offline.
you said offline or like you said last, Ebony? You said last?
Yeah, sorry.
I am a firm believer. I am a firm believer in saying maybe the unpopular thing and saying it how I feel it, because I don't really code switch, right? Like I believe women should authentically be them. I absolutely do. I do let my female friends stay in my house and I give them fresh linens, fresh towels, and direct them to the bathroom most appropriate for them to use, because I trust both my husband and my friends. And because of black love, my friends know exactly where I stand. I don't come over here and you come get me shorts and think you're gonna walk around my house like that, because that's not gonna happen. You need to go down to Walmart. They have these beautiful sets. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, they have these beautiful sets with long pants and button-down shirts, right? Dressed appropriately. You know how you would want someone to dress if your partner, and my children are here too. My children don't need to see certain things. But there is a boundary that I have set, but the boundary is more on my relationship.
Right.
Like the boundary, my friends know my door is open. You're more than welcome. And we've had his friends come and stay here as well. Now, the boundary that I've set for myself, just because I'm one of 7 children, I have 4 brothers. I never felt like it was appropriate for me to be around my brothers and their friends because it didn't pertain to me. So when my husband has company, I leave the room. Unless they invite me into the room and they invite me into the conversation, I leave the room. Now, I've brought this up on social media, and there's some women who don't agree with me. That's fine. That's your house. But as for me and mine, that's how we're going to run. My husband gives me the same courtesy when my friends are here. Unless we invite him in the conversation, he gets ghost, and he thinks it's a wonderful opportunity for him to play video games, right? So I understand setting a boundary, but I think that this is a very rigid boundary. I think that if my friend is coming into town, I want to be hospitable. They don't have to get a hotel. They don't want to have a hotel. But if they do, that's cool too. And I'll go hang out with them, and then we can just avoid this whole thing. But my friends are welcome in my home because I trust them and I trust my husband.
And you know your friends, right? So
and I know them, right? And they know I'm a scrapper. God ain't through with me yet, so they don't, they know what lines not to cross. But
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I agree.
I totally agree with what Jessica was saying. I think it's more so a level of respect. I do believe that Kiera had good intentions on what she said, but you know, when you fresh in love and fresh in this marriage, you just be saying putting together stuff you ain't supposed to be putting together, and everything that sounds good in your head don't always come out the right way. And I think what she meant well. I agree as well. I mean, if I have a friend that is more thoughtish than the others, no, she ain't staying at my house. But also, she would not ask to stay in my house as well because we know each other in that manner. But you know, you do have to create safe boundaries. Once you transition from single to married, and you want to be able to still be your own person, you don't have to transcend to this ultra, bishop mother of wifeliness. You don't have to live that life in order to be deemed as a good wife, as a good role model to other women who are looking to be married, who aren't married, who are still married, because I have friends who are also married, and I look to them as mentors and things of that sort. So you don't have to, like Jessica said, that very strict or rigid set of boundaries. You can still set the tone for your marriage, and a true friend would know what to do and how to do it. And if they disrespect you in any manner, you should be able to go to that friend and say, hey, if we're going to continue to be friends, this can't happen, or I can't be friends with you in this manner. So it's just like that saying that you don't have to part ways or pull off dead fruit. It falls away anyway. It's going to fall on its own. So you kind of have to pick your battles with that one. But I didn't see anything totally wrong with what she was saying. I just think all the added things that was attached to that was kind of like, and it reel it back in just a little bit,
Right. Yeah. I agree with you, Rakia, when you said that newly married, and because I mean before I got married, my man, ain't nobody gonna be around my man.
Right.
Da, 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 da. Child, come on over, whatever. We'll be all right.
Right.
But as far as boundaries, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I understand, the difference, and I think that's what she was trying to get at, like you said, Rakia. Right. Is the boundaries, creating healthy boundaries for yourself, for your family, and everything else will fall into place. I'm sorry, Aisha, did you want to say something? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
I think it's already been covered, but I agree with the whole idea of there's a certain level of respect we gonna have up in here regardless. So it's gonna my friends are probably not gonna ask to spend the night. And that's fine. I mean, whatever. I don't mind if you do. My husband is a talker, so he'll entertain and we'll have a good time and we'll tell you bye. But if you need to stay, then but we gonna have a certain level of respect regardless. I know she meant well, but it's fine. Like Rakia said, everything, it didn't connect. We were just throwing out stuff. It didn't connect for her, but I get it. I think we all understood where she was trying to go.
Right.
Miss Keisha, Tyra, what's your perspective on it?
Well, I'm not married. So, but my boyfriend is here on the weekends. And it works perfect for us. So I'm that girl that likes her own space.
Right.
Me and this dog get along just fine. I don't need nobody here 24/7, and I'm excited to see him on Fridays.
Right. So Tyra, if one of your friends asks to spend the night while he's there visiting,
it's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, because actually I had a girlfriend who became homeless and needed to come stay with me before and we are friends from like elementary school. So, and at first he was like, "You gonna let her stay here?" Yeah, I am. Yeah, she's gonna stay here until she get on her feet.
Yeah.
And you can come on Friday if you want to, and if you don't want to, don't come.
Yeah, no, that's right.
She needs to get on her feet, and I'm her friend from elementary school, and she's gonna stay here until she get it together.
Right.
And that's exactly what she did. And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay."
Yeah. That's right, Ty. Yes.
And it worked out fine. It worked out fine. You know, she did her own thing, and it like you said, it was the respect. She didn't disrespect my house, and vice versa. And we all got along fine till she got on her feet, and then she moved on. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss Keisha, I was gonna leave Ebony for last. Ebony said she wanted to.
Okay. For me, I think that I did hear bits and pieces of it, and I do believe that, like you said, that she's coming from a good place. But I also believe that she's coming from a place of how she was raised, how she was reared.
Right.
Because I was reared. The only reason I can say that is because I was reared the same way. I was told that by my mother, but then I was also told that by my aunts, and then I was also told that by my ex-mother-in-law, because it happened. I'm not gonna say to which one, but it happened to one of them, and it wasn't a friend, but it was a family member, and so they were talking to me by experience, and so from her, I felt like she was saying what she was saying because it was something that was imparted in her from her lineage, from her auntie, from her mother. And so, but then the other portion that I agree with y'all is, Miss Jessica and Rakia, is when I was married, we had that same type of respect. If his friends came by, I would open my door, say, "Hey, how you doing?" and go on back in there and mind my business. And then vice versa. If he knew someone was coming over the house, you know, he would either leave on his bike, go somewhere, or be in a room or what have you. And it was just showing, you know, we speak, show respect, but then I'm giving you your own separate time. And then as well, I mean, but even after I got married that time, my aunt, and I was like, well, you know, you can drop that off to the house. Mike, so I'm not gonna say that he's at the house. And she was like, oh no, I'm gonna wait till you get there. If you're not there, I ain't coming. Now I'm saying to myself, now you should know you 40-something years old. We said I 20. I don't want you. But at the same time, that was her. And so you had to respect that. But then I believe that, like you said, every household is different. So everybody may not agree. But for me, and Ashley knows my whole, you know, lifeline of it, it would be no. It would be no, because of not the insecurities with the friend, but the insecurity, and not at that moment, it wouldn't have been the insecurity of the mate, but then it would have become the insecurity of the mate because of why we got divorced, the issue why. So it really depends on whether or not if you trust your husband or your mate. But then again, I wouldn't even, if I trust my husband, I wouldn't really care about the female because it's my husband that I'm holding accountable. Even if she came in and she did try something because I was in the bathroom taking a shower and she knew that, and she knew you were available, I'm still holding you at a higher regard to make sure that you say, even if you don't tell me about it until she leaves, I'm married to you. I'm not married to that person.
That's right.
So it's up to you. I mean, a lot of people always say, stop being old fashioned. I get told that a lot, whether it was how I used to dress or, you know, how I used to think. And I'm like, God, you know, I understand that there's a lot of things that has to filter out of me. But then there's some things that I'm going to keep holding and grounded in because they told us for a reason. They didn't want me to go through what they went through. So I need to hold tight to that because it'll save me. It'll save me many tears later on.
Oh, yeah.
And so therefore, from her, I really feel, and from watching her mother and from watching, you know, just their household and their family line, I'm sure that more than sure she got that from them. Yeah. And that's something she want to hold tight to. But then she's still trying to pick apart the reasons why. Like when she said using the spirit of discernment on this, and no, you know your girlfriends, unless somebody new that you just met while you're married. But for the ones that you've known for a long time, like y'all said, okay, baby, but I will scratch now. I will come for you. Don't play.
Yes.
He's a man and you're a
Yeah.
woman. Don't play with me. Neither one of
Don't
y'all.
come for
Don't play with
mine.
me.
Look, you already
So
you
he's a
preaching.
pastor,
You
no
preaching.
pastor.
Trying to tell you.
Yeah, I'm like, Pastor,
Oh, Rakia.
that's all I'm trying to say. Pastor, no pastor. At the end of the day, I'm a female. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know that I'm waiting for God to send me my divine husband that he has in store for me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there are just
Try
certain
me.
things that I'm still how I'm gonna carry myself. Try me. Yeah, there it is.
Try me.
I don't think, but I don't want to take that old stuff into the new. But I know good
Right.
well I'm not going to
Right.
set myself up. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
I'm not going to set myself up for myself to be tricked or fooled again either.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
It's just
My
like
mama
you.
would say you. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, like me, I'm 40 years old now, but I've never been to a strip club. One of my friends tried to make me, but I was just like, somebody might. I wasn't even pastoring then. I wasn't even pastoring for a year. And she was like, you need to have fun, live a little. And I was like, somebody go see me. I can't play it. And it was just because that was just me, but that's me. I'm just like, I'm gonna be lusting and I can't. I don't even want to go.
Oh, you can't have a Keisha.
So it's just so you gotta know you and be confident you.
Yeah.
But if you do hear that spirit of discernment, like, don't let that one come through this door. If I anointed my house, I make sure if you ain't holy, you can't get in anyways. And I've seen that happen for myself. I don't care if you my aunt, my uncle. You come on in. I ain't coming in because of that. I start laughing because I know why you can't come in.
Right.
I know why you can't come in. So
I got friends now who be like, no, you be doing that sage and stuff in your house. It's working. If you can't come because of my sage, it's working.
Right.
That's right. That's right. I agree, because I was just about to say, my mom always says you can't mind what you're not able to measure. So that means that if you are not mindful of these things, then you can't have that discernment. You won't be engaged with what's going on around you, knowing when to say no to certain things, when to you have to protect your peace. You have to create that environment. Don't give anybody else, that control to say you need to be doing this and you need to be doing that and you need to let this person in. Because I'm the same way with you. I'm old school. Ashley knows this. I still wear my slips and my stockings.
Come on, anointed, honey. I don't want to see it.
All right. So they don't call me mother for no reason. But and they pick at me about it. But the level of discernment, I anointed my house. I even anointed my truck. And people laugh about that because you got to be careful about those who you give rides to these days. There's so many things that can attach to your spirit and can move along with you. And if you carry that into your home, into your marriage, you've already opened up yourself and your relationships to everything else that is attached to those spirits. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, it's a lot of things that, my grandmother told me and my mom tells me, and we laugh and talk about it, that I still hold sacred. There's nothing wrong with being old fashioned in certain times and applying those things that you don't always have to go through experiences to be able to talk about it. I take it into account that, if my mama went through it and it didn't work for her, I don't have to relive that. I take your word for it. That was good enough. If you're telling me to beware or to not do this or not do that, I take them for what it's worth. And I apply it so that I know, okay, they're just like Takitha said, it is not because they are trying to create this world for you that's non-existent. They don't want you to go through those things that they went through that wasn't so pleasant for them. So if it's going to bring you any type of harm or discomfort or take you out of place of peace, no, don't do it. Don't engage in it.
I love it. I love that. I like holding those things sacred, like you were saying to Kiki and Rakia, and not let everything filter out, right? Everything can filter out. And they're elders for reasons, right? That's why we have the elders for a reason, and going there. All right, Miss Ebony, I'm gonna let you do the last bit, and then we gonna end this.
All these hotels in Columbia, she got to sleep at my house. No, ma'am. I'm with you, Miss Takithia. No, ma'am. Another woman has never even been in my bedroom.
In your bedroom. Okay.
You can stand, like if you come to my house, you can stand on the outside, but your foot will not cross the threshold, and you can
Your
move.
sacred dwelling place.
I think that's
right.
weird.
She said you
My
ain't go nowhere
children, my
near
children have never slept in the bed that me and my husband share.
Oh, they haven't.
Oh no, ma'am. I am. When I say sacred old school, don't nothing come up in here. I only want a TV in there, but he got to have it.
Oh, you know they gotta have it. I think that is so weird when people do not to what you're saying, Ebony. I've had people not just girlfriends. I just always thought that was just so weird when people come into your bedroom like that you don't know. Like I think that's so weird. Like even when I go over to y'all, to Keithy, I've known you since Lord Jesus, since elementary school,
Yes,
all
Lord.
my life. If you invited me over to your house and was like, this is my bed, I'll look in, but it's something about that bedroom that I feel so weird. And I've had a painter like come up. He wasn't even supposed to paint the house. I mean, excuse me, he wasn't even supposed to paint the bedroom. He just was looking to see, like, because he thought the bedroom was really big. And he was like, he walked in. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, you're not even supposed to even be like you weren't even supposed to paint it. So I can get if he was supposed to paint it, he's supposed to go in. But I don't know what that, and like you said, Rakia and to Keithia, like that growing up, it was kind of like you stopped at that threshold, like it was mom and daddy's room. Of course, I went in there and slept in the bed, but it was just something about that bed,
It is. It's
that
sacred.
So, I understand that part, like that whole coming into the bed.
Yeah, I don't like that. And when she's talking about y'all bringing those spirits and everything up in your space and all, like I prayed a prayer. I prayed over my room. I prayed like soul ties be broken from me and my husband. Like she can go stay somewhere else. Like she really can. I love her. And then my friends know me. I don't go on no trips with my girlfriends because I want to love y'all and be y'all friends at the end of the day. We can hang out together, but it's just certain things. No, I'm not going to. I'm like you. I'm not going to give anything space. I trust my husband. He's a good man. But see, you have to watch people. People are interesting. Like I tell my husband, I say, you can't leave here like that, baby, with that wrinkle in your pants. She'll be like, oh, she don't love him. You got a wrinkle in your pants.
Oh, God.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, he's the best man ever. Oh, he the most terrible man. Oh, she don't see the best in him. How's Xavier doing? He's fine. My dad's like, y'all still married? I say, yeah, Daddy, we still married.
What you say, Ebony? They're gonna see that wrinkle in his pants, and they're gonna say, "Let me iron that out and take care of you."
Yeah, she's not taking good care of you.
But y'all know at the same time,
they be that simple. They be that simple to think that.
Yeah. Not only that, but when they see him looking good, they can see the ring. I've had clients sit across from me and tell me about their affairs, right? And I'm like, y'all know I'm married, right? Like, y'all know I feel away. But they will say, he's married, and he's been married for 10 years, and that means he can commit.
Yeah,
he can commit. And so they gonna go after him no matter how you send them out there. But I do hear you. I don't have to invite them in. They can do what they want in the streets, but I don't have to invite them in. They coming either way.